As you may know by now, I absolutely love putting horror films into different categories. So today I've decided to do a category of Don't Stay Here horror films. So these will be horror films set around motels, hotels, Airbnbs and that kind of thing. So my first recommendation is a film called Vacancy. While staying at a motel, a couple find hidden cameras and realise that their every move is being recorded. They have to find a way to escape before they end up as victims in a snuff film. This is very home invasion vibes but set in a motel. It is quite a simple story, but it is also really effective, especially because it does only have a short runtime. It came out in 2007 and as I always say, I just absolutely love 2000s horror films. They have a special feeling to them and are just so nostalgic to me. I do really like this kind of trope in horror films of hidden cameras because it is just so realistic. It is something that could happen and unfortunately has happened to many people. The home invasion subgenre is just something that I find absolutely terrifying anyway. Vacancy is very claustrophobic and just so stressful, as a lot of the time the couple are just trapped inside this room or trapped in a smallish area. Like a lot of 2000s horror films, there of course are some stupid decisions and some moments that probably could have been avoided. The next film that I'm going to talk about is Barbarian. Tess arrives at her Airbnb quite late at night to find out that it has actually been double booked and a man called Keith is already staying there. Despite her better judgment, she decides to go in and stay anyway. This was one of my favourite films to come out of 2022. It has a really fun and unexpected plot twist that I am so grateful to have seen at the cinema. It's creepy, it has some good jump scares that still get me even though I know that they're coming. It also has some comedy elements and is very aware of itself. It takes horror tropes and plays into them. For example, entering a dodgy and potentially very dangerous situation even though there may be obvious signs not to. It's the type of comedy that's not so in your face but almost mocking characters that make stupid decisions in the horror genre. I absolutely love Tess's character played by Georgina Campbell. She is incredible in this role, as were the rest of the cast. One of my favourite things is the marketing for this film, as there is a comical trailer making this not look like a horror film. It's called Justin Long's new movie and I definitely recommend watching it after you've seen the film. The trailer does end up turning into a horror trailer, don't worry, they're not completely manipulating the audience to not be prepared for a horror film, but I do think it is a hilarious marketing tactic and definitely one of my all-time favourite trailers. My next recommendation is The Rental. Two couples go on vacation together as a small group getaway. They soon become suspicious that someone may be spying on them in their rental house, so they decide to try and take some action. Although I have seen mixed reviews for this film, I personally really enjoyed it and I really liked some of the twists and I found them really unexpected. It's not a perfect film by any means, but I would say it is really entertaining and one that I would watch over and over. It is a slow burn film, but for a film that's only 88 minutes long, that really doesn't matter too much. This was the directorial debut from Dave Franco, who also helped produce and write it. It is quite a simple premise and I don't know if I personally like this film more than other people because of the similar films that I watched growing up, like the film that I spoke about before, Vacancy. Realistic horror always scares me the most. So if you also feel the same, then I do think you will enjoy this one. The next film is The Innkeepers. Two employees of an old hotel are determined to prove that the stories of it being haunted are true. This is a film by Ty West, who is now of course really well known for the X trilogy, but he does also have quite a few really good other horror films that he's directed. This one definitely being one of the more underrated ones. The Innkeepers is very fun. It's about paranormal investigation and ghost hunting, so it is definitely a good one to also watch in October around Halloween. It has some really creepy moments and some jump scares. It is a slow burn to start off with, but I think that it works perfectly to build the tension and creepiness as well as to keep the audience guessing a little bit. It may not be for everyone because of the slow start, but if you also liked Ty West's The House of the Devil, that one also has a slow start and similar pacing, so you may like this one as well. It's not as good as The House of the Devil in my opinion, but it definitely is worth checking out. My next recommendation is Superhost. A couple run an internet show called Superhost where they vlog and review their stays at different Airbnbs. They travel to stay at a new one in a beautiful remote vacation home with a host that is willing to do do anything for a good review. It is one that I have spoken about quite a few times, but that is because I do think it is very underrated. It's a Shudder original with a very small cast and a very small crew as well. There weren't many people working on this film at all. It does give a home invasion vibe, even though it is kind of a reverse home invasion because it's not their home. If you like the film Creep from 2014, then I think you will probably like this one because it is very reminiscent of that film. You can definitely tell that something is off as soon as the couple arrive at the Airbnb. It is a progressive horror where you can feel the tension and uneasiness rise as the film goes on. It is quite an easy watch, it's very entertaining, it's just one that's not that deep. My next recommendation is a film called Identity. A group of strangers find themselves stranded at a remote motel during a storm. Just when they think that things can't get any worse, they start to get picked off one by a deranged serial killer. I actually only recently watched this film and I quickly became invested. It's a really interesting mystery slasher film with a little bit of something else thrown in. Definitely go into this one as blind as possible because I feel like I don't even really want to talk about this film too much. It is so easily spoiled. If you are somebody who's watched a lot of horror and thriller films, then you'll probably guess as you watch this film, but it is still really good even if you do kind of figure things out as you watch. I absolutely love the location and especially love the weather. I really love heavy rain and storms in horror films. It just gives off such a dreary atmosphere. There are definitely problems with this film, but I can't get into that without getting into spoilers, so that's definitely for another day. So I think I'm going to leave it there for those recommendations today. I really hope that you like this kind of category horror film recommendation video, especially because I have so many different categories in my head that I put horror films into, so it would be really fun to share all of those with you. As always, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you again in another one soon.